Hi friends, today I am presenting you the budget of 2021-22. This budget was presented by Madam Finance Minister Madam Sita Nirmala Sitharaman. This budget is built around health, hope and growth. Built with an aim of strong infrastructure like rail, road, etc., women empowerment, double the farmers' income, and give a push to Atmanirbhar Bharat. She divided this budget on six pillars. She built this budget on six pillars. These six pillars, as she mentioned, were health and well-being. Second was physical, financial, capital, and infrastructure. Third is inclusive development for aspirational India. Fourth is invigorating human capital. Fifth was innovation and R&D. And sixth was minimum government and maximum governance. Now, do you know what products will become cheaper for you? Gold and silver will become cheaper for you because she has removed the custom duty. She has reduced the custom duty from 12.5% to 7.5%. But at the same time, she has also introduced agriculture and infrastructure cess of 2.5% on gold and silver. So, this is to make up for the fiscal deficit overall. Second, she has reduced the custom duties for copper, iron, and silver from 5% to 2.5%. And the third one is that she has removed some charges on exemptions on some mobile parts to encourage manufacturing in India. So this is to push the made in India products. What becomes expensive? Custom duty has increased to 15% on some auto parts. So obviously auto parts, overall automobile industry, the product will increase. Custom duty on raw cotton has been increased from 0% to 10%. So whenever we import cotton from outside, then the cotton will become expensive. So obviously your cotton products will become expensive. Custom duty has been increased from 10% to 15% for raw silk and silk yarns. So therefore, all silk items, all silk clothing will become expensive for us. Government has introduced agriculture and infra cess of 2.5 liter on petrol and 4 rupees per liter on diesel. Guys, petrol itself is very expensive nowadays. In Delhi, has reached almost 100 rupees. And on top of that, they have also introduced a cess of 2.5 per liter and 4 per liter on diesel, which will make petrol even more expensive. Duty has been imposed on solar inverters and lanterns to promote manufacturing in India. 100% agricultural and infrastructure cess on alcohol. So alcohol is going to become very expensive, guys. Now I will advise you how the reforms have been made sector wise. The first one is agriculture and allied industry. In agriculture, government has had promised, as you know, government has promised to double the farmers' income. So they have made huge reforms in agriculture and allied industry. They have allocated 16.5 lakh crores to be spent on various plans in FY 2021-22. Concessional credit boost to farmers will be given. Agri infrastructure fund will be established. Emergency working capital for farmers will be made. Animal husbandry infrastructure development. Amendments to the Essential Commodities Act. Agricultural marketing reforms will be made. In health sector, they have allocated a budget of 2.23 lakhs crore. This is a huge budget that they had allocated for health sector. And out of this, 35,000 crores is only for COVID-19 vaccine. So this big budget for health is on account of the COVID that we have been facing since last 1 year. So government has really taken care of this sector, has taken care of this sector. In coming 6 years, government will spend somewhere around 64,180 crores in primary, secondary and tertiary health care. In urban development sector, Government has introduced Jal Jeevan Mission for universal water supply in ULBs. So, which means just as government had pledged to supply electricity to all across India, similarly they are now targeting to provide water in all the parts of India. So, Jal Jeevan Mission is for that mission. Uh, Second is Urban Swachh Bharat Mission with outlay of 1,41,678 crores over 5 years. 2,217 crores for 42 urban centers to tackle air pollution. Voluntary vehicle scrapping policy to control air pollution. So this is a new concept that government has introduced wherein anybody who has a personal vehicle which is more than 20 years old, government will give some kind of tax benefit uh, or some kind of fund so that people scrap their vehicle and buy a new one. So this will boost the automobile sector as a whole, and it will also help in reducing the air pollution. Then government has introduced PPP model to augment public bus transport. So government will be buying a lot of buses and putting it on the roads for convenience of public. This will also help people to abandon their own vehicles and use public transport, which will also reduce air pollution. Then another step towards reducing air pollution is Metro Light and Metro Neo for Tier 2 and peripherals of Tier 1 cities, which means that by introducing metro lines, uh, this will again generate a lot of employment, and this will boost the economy as a whole. Then we come to the infrastructure sector. The infrastructure sector, the first thing which government is doing is they are building they are being they are building infrastructure national highways in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Assam, and Kerala. Why these four states? Because in these four states, elections are going to happen in 2021. Now, National Rail Plan aims at developing adequate rail infrastructure by 2030 to cater to the urban development projected traffic requirements up to 2050. 1.19 lakh crore to be spent on railways. Direct benefit will go to IRFC because all the money will come to this company, which is Indian Railway Finance Corporation. So this company will be definitely benefiting from all this development which will take place in railways. Objective is to increase the modal share of rail in freight from the current level of 27% to 45%. 100% electrification of broad gauge railways by 2023, and government is also targeting at indigenously developed automatic railway projection system to be launched by 2021. 1,000 crores to be spent on in the power sector. 1,000 crores is to be spent on the solar energy and 1,500 crores to be spent on renewable energy development. 139 gigawatt of installed capacity was added during 6 years, connecting additional 2.8 crore households with addition of 1.41 lakh circuit kilometer of transmission lines. Revamped reforms-based, result-linked power distribution sector scheme will be launched with an outlay of 3,05,984 crores over 5 years. Hydrogen energy mission will be launched. Now, in the gas sector, 100 cities to be connected by city gas distribution center. So basically, 100 cities will get the gas supply, just as most part of metros is connected with the gas line. Similarly, other 100 cities will also get this benefit. In textile sector, they are introducing a Mitra scheme to create world-class infrastructure for global champions in textile sector, leading to creation of 7 textile parks over 3 years. Automobile sector vehicle scrappage policy, as I mentioned previously, is introduced. Government will give tax benefit or some funds to scrap the vehicles which is 20 years old, and for commercial vehicles it will be somewhere around 15 years old. 18,000 crores to be spent on buses for public transport. In insurance sector, government has introduced an FDI investment in insurance sector from 49% to 74%. This is a drastic increase in this sector. and they would be also launching an IPO of LIC. Banking sector, government to infuse 20,000 crores in public sector banks in financial year 2021-2022. Concept of bad bank to be introduced for recovery of bad loans. Now, what is bad bank? Bad bank is a concept wherein government will create another bank which will take all the bad loans that has not been recovered by the other banks, and the recovery will be recovery of all such bad debts or bad loans will be done by bad banks, and the other banks will now focus on their own business. They will not have any bad debt on their balance sheet, so this will improve their balance sheet. Secondly, they will focus on their own business, and the bad bank will be focusing on recovery of all these bad loans. So they are trying to separate the two different, because recovery also is a huge part on the huge takes a lot of these banks have to do a lot of work on for recovery of these bad loans. So now this will be done by bad bank, and let's hope that this works and lot of recovery is made by the bad bank. Now, disinvestment of two public sector bank, Punjab Sind and Bank of Maharashtra, will be done. uh, Government targets to raise 1,75,000 crore for disinvestment. Vision for Atmanirbhar Bharat. So government is, apart from introducing a lot of reforms in different sectors, they are also have a vision for Atmanirbhar Bharat, for which what they have done is they have introduced certain reforms. Now these reforms are government reforms. What they are doing is they are increasing in the borrowing limits of state government. Privatization of public sector enterprise will take place. There are a lot of public enterprise like SAIL, GAIL, etc., which will be privatized in the coming course of years, so that government can generate money for to recover the fiscal deficit that they have built. They would be spending on energy sector. In the energy sector, liquidity support for discoms will be introduced. Elimination of regulatory asset and commercial coal mining and reduction in cross subsidy will be introduced. MSMEs and industries. Collateral fees loan for businesses. Fund of funds will be set up for MSMEs under PM Garib Kalyan Yojana. Subordinate debt for MSMEs. Disallowing global tenders of up to 200 crores, so that more and more MSMEs can participate in government tenders and they get more and more business. Change in definition of MSMEs. There are two changes that they have introduced. First is turnover limit to increase from 2 crores to 20 crores. Second is tax audit limit has increased from 5 crores to 10 crores. These are all done to support MSMEs. Regulations and other benefits. Regulatory to be introduced by government to reduce fraud. So they are introducing SEBI Act, Depository Act, Securities Contract Regulatory Act, and they are also building world-class fintech hub at GIFT IFSC. Investor charter as a right across all financial products. Tax reform. Vivad se Vishwas is extended. Reduced tax assessment reopening. Lower litigation with small tax payers. Now, reduced tax assessment reopening means that initially, whenever the tax authorities thought that somebody is not paying their taxes properly, and they used to catch that person, so they could have gone back to 6 years to assess whether they have paid the tax in 6 years or not. Now this 6 years has been reduced to 3 years. So now the tax authorities can at maximum go back till 3 years and not more than that. The third point was lower litigation with small taxpayers. Increased tax audit limits from 5 crores to 10 crores. No income tax returning filing for senior citizens. For senior citizens who are age 75 and above are not supposed to now file income tax return. FPIs pay lower TT rate for tax on dividend income. Tax holiday on affordable housing projects extended till 2022. Details of capital gains, dividends and interest pre-filled in returns. Some taxation on ULIPs. Provident fund above 2.5 lakh in a year has been introduced. Now this will increase. Initially, Provident fund had was all tax free, but this year government has introduced a tax, some kind of will introduce some kind of taxation. So so your ULIP is going to become costlier because you will have to pay tax on it, and your provident fund, which is above 2.5 lakhs in a year, will also be taxed. So if we see the chart, these two charts, the first chart is about capital expenditure. So this time government has introduced a record breaking figure of 5.54 lakh crores for capital expenditure, which is this is the biggest, largest amount that government would be spending ever in the history of India on capital expenditure. Now, why is this being done? This is being done to firstly boost the economy, secondly to generate employment, and overall people to become Atmanirbhar, uh, and to create a positive environment, positive sentiments overall in the economy. The second chart is for physical deficit. Now, physical deficit, if you see, 2021 RE is 9.5 and 21-22 BE is 6.8. This means that this year the projected fiscal deficit is almost 9.5 lakh crores, which is very high as compared to all the previous years. If you see, last year, if you see, it was projected 3.4, but we actually achieved 4.6. Last year the actual was 4.6. So now the government really needs to think how will they bridge this gap of fiscal deficit, because for few further generations we need to maintain our economy well. Now comes the now the how the government will earn. They will earn from disinvestment. So now what government is doing is this investment target and asset monetization will be done. Now what is this investment? They have a target of raising 1,75,000 crores from disinvestment of various companies, the various public sectors like SAIL, GAIL, Air India, and others. Uh, and they have also set a target of 2.1 lakh crores for FY 2020, but they had actually achieved 15,000 crores only. So here they have a very good target. Let's see whether this is achieved or not. In the four sector, and what they have done is, what they would be just keeping four sectors as strategic sectors, which will be with the government, and rest all sectors they will be disinvesting in the market to generate capital. Now comes capital expenditure, 5.54 lakh crore for financial year 2021 and 22, as against 4.39 lakh crores for financial year 2021. So, so as I had mentioned in the previous slide, when I was showing the chart, that this time the government is projecting to spend a huge amount on capital expenditure. Then comes the physical deficit for 20 fiscal year 2021, as I mentioned, is 9.5 projected. And then government has also given a plan that in fiscal year 2022, financial year 2022, they would be reducing it to 6.8% by disinvestment, divestment, and asset monetization. And by fiscal year 25-26, they are projecting this fiscal deficit to go down to 4.5%. Now, government will borrow 12 lakh crore rupees to spend on all the expenditure that they have mentioned, what I have mentioned previously. So because when there's a fiscal deficit, they need to borrow, right? From where will the money come? Fiscal deficit means that your income is less than what you would be spending. So for that, to bridge that gap, government would be borrowing an amount of 12 lakh crores. They will be selling, they will be selling companies, they will be selling the non-core assets of various companies that government has to to lower the fiscal deficit. Thank you so much. I hope you had liked my budget presentation. Please subscribe my channel, uh, and uh, and please press the bell icon. Thank you so much.